I'm Darren Haynes with your ESPN headlines. Tight end Jimmy Graham's happy to be back on the field for the Saints for training camp after what he called a tough offseason of contract negotiations. Let's bring in NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck. Tim, how tough is it for Jimmy Graham to handle his business now on the field after an offseason handling contract business off the field?
It's probably easier than you would think. You either just go check the balance in your bank account, or you look at a pay stub and you realize this is why I went through the offseason that I went through, was because I wanted to get paid as the premier tight end in the NFL, which ultimately happened. It's also one of the reasons that you hire an agent. You let the messiness go on back and forth between the agent and the club's representatives. This was a little unique because of the arbitration in terms of the designation of Jimmy Graham as a tight end and not a wide receiver. But what happened at the end of the day and at the end of the negotiation is that Jimmy Graham was in fact paid like a wide receiver. Now, he wasn't paid like Calvin Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald, but he was paid like a wide receiver and ultimately the premier tight end in the National Football League, which is what he deserved, and I think the Saints knew that all along.
Now, Graham's coach and also his general manager, Mickey Loomis, their testimony didn't support Graham's case on whether he was a tight end or a receiver. How does now Jimmy Graham go back to the field and try to resolve this relationship?
Yeah, well, I think you just understand that the point they were making was that if he were designated a wide receiver, it just would give Jimmy Graham and his camp much more leverage to reach a long-term deal with the money that Jimmy Graham wanted to get. And the club obviously was trying to sign a deal, sign Jimmy to a deal that was more advantageous to them. And so really all that was to get them to a jumping off point of what Jimmy Graham would receive on a one-year franchise tender at his position. And so I think he understands the business of that, knows that it probably was not anything personal. You know, they may still get a Christmas card, but ultimately, I think it's easy to look at it now and say, I got the deal done that I wanted done. I'm the highest paid tight end in NFL history. I deserve that. And I think that Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton and everyone in that organization understands what he's done for that football team.
That's NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck with the latest on Jimmy Graham. For more on this story, just keep it right here on ESPN.com.